Welcome to another junior number video. In this video, we're going to chat about rounding to the nearest 10 or 100 or etc. So, a lot of situations require you to round your answer sensibly. Here's a quick reminder of the place values of whole numbers. If you've learnt these, fantastic. If you haven't quite got these mastered, go away until you really feel confident with these names. Alright, here's the key rule that we're going to be using in this video. If the next digit is 5 or greater, then the digit we're looking at gets rounded up 1. Okay, let's get into example 1. We're going to round 3,567 to the nearest 10. So we're going to identify the tens column, which is the 6. And we're going to round to the nearest 10. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a peek at the next digit to the right. If the next digit is 5 or greater, then the 6 is going to get rounded up 1. So the next digit is a 7, which is greater than 5 or greater. So the 6 that we're looking at is going to get rounded up 1 to 7. And the 7 that we peeked at will just become a 0. So we're going to take 3,567 and we're going to round it to 3,570. Now we're using this funny looking equals. It's a squiggly equals, which means approximately equal to. So in other words, 3,567 is approximately equal to 3,570 because we've rounded to the nearest 10. Quick look at a diagram to see if you understand what went on. We've taken 3,567 and we've rounded it up to 3,570 instead of rounding it down to 3,560. Okay, example 2. How do we round 523 to the nearest 100? We'll identify what the 100 column is. The 100 column is the 5. So we're going to round to the nearest 100. So we need to look at the next digit to the right. If it's 5 or greater, we're going to round it up 1. So the next digit's a 2. It's not 5 or greater. So that means the 5 will stay as it is. It doesn't get rounded up 1. So it stays as a 5, and the 2 and the 3 are both going to become zeros. So 523 is approximately 500 after I've rounded it to the nearest 100. And again, the diagram may help explain what's going on. 523 has been rounded down to 500 instead of rounding up to 600. Okay, example 3. How do I round 14,479 to the nearest 1,000? Well, we've got to identify the 1,000 column, which is this 4. This is the thousands column. So once again, let's have a peek at the next digit to the right. If it's 5 or greater, we're going to round the 4 up 1. Well, the next digit happens to be 4 as well. And that's not 5 or greater, which means this 4 is going to stay a 4. It's not going to get rounded up. And the 4 and the 7 and the 9 will all become zeros, and we've rounded it to 14,000. So 14,479 is approximately equal to 14,000 after I've rounded it to the nearest 1,000. Again, a quick peek at a diagram. This is a bit trickier. 14,479 is just below halfway between 14,000 and 15,000. And because it's just below halfway, it gets rounded down. All right, our last example is this one. How do we round 65 to the nearest 10? Well, our tens column is the 6. So once again, our key rule, if the next digit to the right is 5 or greater, we're going to round it up. The next digit is a 5. And if it's 5 or greater, we round the digit up 1. So it is going to get rounded up. So this 6 is going to get rounded up to a 7. And the 5 will become a 0. So we've basically taken 65 and rounded it up to 70. Now in this example, you can see 65 is exactly halfway between 60 and 70. But if it's exactly halfway, it always gets rounded up. Awesome. Thank you so much for watching.